Good morning and happy Wednesday, April the 15th. This is day 28 of my daily video series of daily perspectives. Somebody asked me the other day how long I plan to do this. No question, when I started this, I had no idea that we would be in isolation this long. It is certainly going to be something historic for us as we go on in years, and I have no doubt that we're going to get through this. The challenge is when exactly we're going to be able to get back to getting together and out of the house and doing business a little bit more in line with what we used to. Either way, I'm not sure. I'm going to keep trying to give you some daily perspectives, but as we start to get out of this, maybe it'll go down to every other day or weekly. I'm not sure, but as long as I'm saying them, I hope they're helpful to you. Anyway, today I want to talk about change. You often hear people saying, "I hate change." And the reality is, most people don't mind change. You're saying, what? Most people hate change. No, most people don't mind change. What they don't like is the transition from where they are today to wherever the change is going to take them. Our challenge is not the change. Our challenge is the process through the change, from something that is called the endings to the new beginnings. Now, the challenge is when the change is imposed upon us, like this whole COVID-19 thing, we had no choice or very little choice. And what happened is we had to find ways to cope. We had to find ways to adapt. The reality is, as we come through this, there's another ending, and that ending is going back to work, the ending of the isolation. But the issue with change is the process, it's the transition that we have to go through. Let me put this try and put this in perspective. Somebody mentioned this idea that they would love a new house, but they hate the idea of moving. You get it? They love the change of a new house. They just don't like the process of moving. And that is how it is with our teams. They don't like the process of the change, even though the change could be very good for them and it could be very good for us. And so our job as leaders is to help our teams through the process of change, because the process of change is filled with denial and fear and anxiety and resistance and anger and depression. And is usually filled with a reduction in performance. And that's what doesn't make it fun. And so our job as leaders to help them get through the process. Now, it's a whole lot deeper how we do that than what I have time for in this short clip. So if you'd like more insights into that, I would love to spend some time with you and your teams in helping to talk through what it means to go through the process of change so we can get out on the other side to new beginnings that will not only potentially get us back to where we were performing before, but even take us to a greater level. Because as somebody else said the other day, when we get through the other side and we look back, you'll know when people embrace the change and the process when they say, "We should have done this years ago." Think about it. There's so much that we fight against, but it's not the change. Remember the other day I talked about E plus R equals O. E is the event. E is the change. R is our response to it. And that's where we don't have always the tools of how do we respond in the best way so that we can elevate our outcomes. I hope that's helpful to you today. Have a great day. Have a great rest of the week. And I look forward to chatting further.